Am I wrong for giving my mom the silent treatment after she posted a video of me on anesthesia when I told her not to? I, 17 male, got my wisdom teeth pulled out last month, and that sucks on its own, but my mom made it worse. I hate being recorded, I always have, and my family knows that. I've always hated the idea of being on the internet, especially those anesthesia videos of people acting all weird. Anyway, I didn't want to be seen that way at all, and definitely not online. So I made this clear to my mom every day before I went in. I even reminded her the day of so many times that she told me to stop. Well, I went in, went home, woke up the next morning, and she's all like, "Check this out, it's so funny," and shows me a video. Am I wrong for giving my mom the silent treatment after she posted a video of me on anesthesia when I told her not to? Not only did she record me talking gibberish, she posted it on Facebook and someone in the family uploaded it to YouTube. It got a couple thousand views and that was bad enough, but someone at school found it and now everybody has seen it. I got teased about it, people shoved their phones in my face to show me, and some dude poured a carton of milk down my shirt. But that could be unrelated. The point is, school's been terrible. So I actually stopped talking to my mom. She clearly doesn't respect what I say, so screw it. Now my parents are saying I'm being childish and I'm grounded until I stop. And yes, I'm sneaking my phone to share the story. Am I wrong for telling my son I'm disappointed he invited his girlfriend to his graduation instead of me? My son is graduating next month, and for some reason the school hasn't changed the policy to how it was a couple years ago. This means you only get to invite 2 people, no exceptions. I even called to confirm. The thing is, my son and his girlfriend have been together for 3 years and she's a year older, so already graduated. My son had a talk with me last week and explained that since he's only able to have 2 people, he'd like his girlfriend to attend. And that, to be honest, he just wants her and my husband there. He claims that he picked randomly between me and my husband, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm just really disappointed. Am I wrong for telling my son that I'm disappointed he invited his girlfriend to his graduation instead of me? He claims that he picked randomly which of us should stay home, but I'm not so sure about that. I told him I'll respect his decision, and obviously I can't force him to change it, but I am disappointed. I explained that while this is his moment, it's something I want to be there for. I told him I felt that it was kind of silly to have his high school girlfriend come over one of his own parents. He got angry at that and said I wasn't taking his relationship seriously, and he ended the conversation after that. My husband understands my frustration and even offered to switch, but I don't want him to miss it either. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for ignoring my soon-to-be stepmom when she called me the wrong name? I'm female 16 and my name is Andy. Just Andy. My mom's dad passed away a few days before she found out she was pregnant, and my mom was very close with her dad. His name was Andrew, but he also went by Andy. The technical female version of Andrew is Andrea, but neither my mom nor dad liked the name, so they chose Andy. My parents got divorced when I was 8, and while I still live with my mom most of the time, I visit my dad every other weekend. 3 years ago, my dad started dating his fiancée Kate, and for some reason when we met, she assumed my name was Andrea. And ever since I corrected her, she still continues to call me Andrea. Am I wrong for ignoring my soon-to-be stepmom when she kept calling me the wrong name? I told my mom about it and she told me just ignore Kate until she calls me Andy. Well, this past weekend I was at my dad's and we were visiting some of Kate's family. Again, she kept calling me Andrea and I ignored her. She got mad and asked why I'm ignoring her, and I said because that's not my name and you know that. Her dad and brother basically laughed, saying they thought I just went by Andy as a nickname, and I said no, that's my name. Then they proceeded to ask Kate why she's been calling me Andrea then. Later on, Kate called me a brat for embarrassing her and said I knew what she meant and I should have just went with it. I feel like in this instance, maybe I should have.
Am I in the wrong for making my son take a paternity test? This is a mess and I would appreciate opinions from unbiased people. I, female 39, have 2 kids, male 17 and female 10. When I was 21, I had a one-night stand which resulted in my son Austin. The father wanted nothing to do with my child. When my son was 3, I met my husband Mark, male 38. My son adores my husband and calls him father. Austin met his current girlfriend through Mark's best friend Alan, her father. Macy and Austin have been close since they were young, and we were all thrilled when we found out that they were dating. Mark and I sat Austin down and explained that we're happy for him, but we needed him to know the importance of safe sex whether it was happening or not. He was disgusted, but he said that he understood and we left it at that. For context, my son is what others describe to be as shy and soft-spoken. He's really sensitive and takes harsh comments and actions to heart. We thought everything was fine for him until he came home crying. He eventually told us that Macy had cheated on him. I was angry and urged my son to leave, but my husband calmed us both down and asked to speak to Austin privately. Essentially, he asked Austin what he wanted to do, and if he wanted us to stop seeing Macy and her father. Austin said that he didn't want that and wanted to work things out. I was upset but didn't say anything. Ever since that happened, I hated seeing her around. All I think about when I see her is my son distressed and crying his eyes out. I act cordial around her, but I don't like her. Around February, Austin came home looking rather upset again, so I sat down with him and asked what's going on. I wasn't expecting to hear him say what he said to me. Macy's pregnant. I was furious. I told him that I expected better from him. I also said that before anything happened, he needs to do a paternity test. He was angry that I suggested that she cheated again, but I didn't like how she was suddenly pregnant. When Mark came home from work, I filled him in and he was equally upset. We all sat down and discussed it. Austin explained that I demanded a paternity test was done, and Mark wasn't happy to hear that. I explained that she's cheated before. She could have cheated again. That led to a huge argument before we all calmed down. I asked if her parents knew. Apparently not. He said that she agreed to tell him tonight, and sure enough, about an hour later, Mark gets an angry call from Alan demanding that my son marries his daughter. And if Austin refuses, he demands that he pay child support and stay out of the kid's life. Of course, we were all angry and exhausted, so I said that nothing was happening until a paternity test was done and I wasn't taking the word of a cheating little girl. He blew up at us and it was radio silence after the call. Macy was told that she could no longer see Austin and he took it out on me. A few weeks ago, Alan contacted us and agreed to do the paternity test. I asked why the sudden change, but he ignored me. Austin went with Mark. He said he didn't want to be around me. It stung and I won't lie. It made me cry when he said that. Results finally came in a few nights ago and he isn't the father. He was shattered. Instead of apologizing, he screamed that this was my fault and that he'd never have known. He hasn't said much to me since. Maybe I was wrong for making him do the paternity test, but I was only looking out for my son. Am I in the wrong for walking out of the restaurant during my wife's birthday dinner with her family? For context, my wife's birthday was a few days ago. I took her out last weekend somewhere nice for just me and her to have lunch, and I took her out and we did a whole walk hiking day, which is her favorite thing to do. This weekend, her parents wanted to take her out for dinner, wherever she wanted to go. She asked my opinion on it, and I simply answered, literally anywhere except Shogun's is fine. She knows I don't like that restaurant. I just don't like the flavors. Her dad loves the place, so we've been going there often. Every single time, I didn't like it, so I came to the conclusion I would just stop going there. Spending $30 on a plate of food that I won't eat seems ridiculous. Cue today's events. We went out with our parents and our kids, had a nice day together. Time comes to decide where we're going for dinner. Wife in family says Shogun's. I think, okay, no big deal. I'll just get a kid's meal or something. Chicken strips and fries. I remind my wife on the way to the restaurant that I don't plan on eating anything off the menu, but I would be more than happy to sit with everyone, enjoy the company, and I'll order chicken strips. She's happy, I'm happy, all good. Until we get to the restaurant, that is. Turns out the kids' meals are only for 10 and under. Obviously, I'm way over that age limit, so I thought, no big deal, I'll just relax and enjoy company, then I'll grab some food after we leave. According to Shogun's policy, you have to pay per person whether or not that person's eating. They wanted me to pay $10 to watch other people eat, when the kids' meal would have only cost $7. So I asked again if I could just get the kids' meal. They refused. My wife was getting upset over the $10 charge for me to sit there. I told my wife that I'm not paying $10 to watch everyone else eat dinner. Screw that. So now I'm sitting outside my car, and my wife's parents I'm sure are not thrilled as well.
I, 30 male, am considering ending my relationship with my partner, 26 female, due to her being $250,000 in debt. I am a 30-year-old male and I have a well-paying job, roughly $100,000 per year and no debt. My girlfriend has $250,000 in private student loans from undergraduate private school with a variable interest rate. Recently, the interest hit over 11% and doing the math on the loans has me devastated. Okay, before we even read on further, I am one of those people who I'm okay with you breaking up over debt because you're not just marrying the person, you're marrying all that crap too. So that her debt becomes your debt. With how fast it is growing, she will need to put $25,000 a year into it just to keep it in the same place. That basically guarantees that I will never have financial help during our relationship. Additionally, with how much she will need to work just to pay the loans, I won't have much help around the house or with our kids if and when we have some either. I keep blaming myself that I can't just deal with it. It's just money, right? But at the same time, when I look at the reality of the situation, I can't help but feel I need to walk away from this situation. Number one cause of divorce is financial problems. Just putting it out there. Additionally, she's going back to school in the fall for a higher paying job, probably 60 to 85K income at the end realistically, with the possibility of 125K a year if she works herself to death. But this program will add another 30K in federal loans. I think this is a bad decision, but it's also the only option she seems to have to up her income. A lot of jobs that if you get a full-time job with a good company, they'll pay for you for your extended education. I hope a lot of people know that. Like they will, a good sized company will pay you to get higher education. You don't have to go do it yourself and then get another job. I feel like I don't want to wait until I'm 45 when this debt might be paid off to have children. I don't want to put my life on hold in this way, but I also love her a lot. We've talked a lot about this and about her plan to pay it down, etc. It now feels like my options are either accept that this is reality and it will be many years before she's free of this debt, or end the relationship.